When the Coast Guard intercepted a peculiar blue vessel in the middle of the ocean, they had no idea they were stepping into one of the most perilous and bizarre encounters of their careers. This strange metallic boat, camouflaged perfectly with the sea's waves and invisible to radar, held secrets that would soon unravel into a living nightmare. What began as a routine mission turned into an extraordinary tale of courage, stealth, and the takedown of an international trafficking ring. The encounter began innocently enough. The Coast Guard's crew spotted the strange vessel during their patrol, its vibrant blue exterior almost disappearing into the sea. At first glance, the boat didn't seem particularly threatening. However, it was larger than expected and lacked the usual hallmarks of a seafaring vessel. There were barely any windows, save for a few small glass frames on top. Even more unnerving was that the boat didn't appear on their radar despite being directly in their line of sight. The captain of the Coast Guard's ship double-checked their equipment, but found nothing amiss. Puzzled yet wary, he ordered the crew to draw the boat closer. However, the mysterious vessel wouldn't budge. Instead, their own ship began to drift forward as though the strange boat was pulling them in. "This isn't normal," the captain muttered. "We're just seeing the tip of the iceberg here." The captain instructed two of his men, Thomas and Derek, to board the vessel and investigate. Armed with nerves of steel, the two stepped aboard the blue boat, their first steps echoing ominously on its metallic deck. What they were about to uncover would haunt them for the rest of their lives. As Thomas and Derek explored the vessel, they noticed how eerily quiet it was. They found a small window, but couldn't see much through the grime-coated glass. Spotting a hatch on the deck, they cautiously opened it, revealing a ladder that descended into darkness. With flashlights in hand, the two climbed down, their footsteps echoing in the hollow silence of the vessel's interior. The lower deck was even stranger. It was clear the boat was no ordinary vessel. The dimly lit space was lined with outdated equipment that looked like it belonged in a submarine rather than a boat. The realization hit them hard. This was not just a boat. It was a stealth submarine. The two Coast Guards tried to communicate their findings to their crew, but their walkie-talkies emitted only static. Suddenly, the hatch above them slammed shut with a deafening clang. Panicked Thomas and Derek climbed back up the ladder, pounding on the hatch to no avail. To their horror, the submarine began to submerge, cutting them off from the outside world entirely. As the submarine descended, Thomas and Derek struggled to keep their composure. The realization that the vessel was a stealth submarine, designed to evade detection and block communication, was both fascinating and terrifying. But the question remained, what was its purpose? The two Coast Guards turned their attention to the submarine's control room, a relic of another era with heavy-duty buttons, levers, and wires. They found no clues about who was piloting the vessel or its destination. Then, Derek spotted a locked door. Despite their combined efforts, the two men couldn't force it open. 30 minutes later, the submarine began to ascend. The vibrations beneath their feet indicated that they were nearing the surface. As they braced themselves for what was to come, the hatch above them opened, and three large, muscular men descended into the submarine. The newcomers carried large packages and paid no attention to Thomas and Derek, who hid behind a console. The Coast Guards watched in silence as the men retrieved more packages from the locked room and carried them to the surface. The process repeated several times, each trip adding to the mystery of the vessel's cargo. When the activity finally ceased, Thomas and Derek cautiously followed the men up the ladder. They emerged to find themselves surrounded by the vast expanse of the ocean, with no land in sight. Around them were four massive floating pillars supporting a large oil rig platform. The operation was hidden in plain sight, cleverly disguised as a legitimate oil rig. Determined to uncover the truth, Thomas and Derek climbed the ladder connecting the submarine to the platform. What they found above was a bustling scene of illicit activity. Workers moved crates and machinery while forklifts transported cargo across the deck. The two Coast Guards realized they had stumbled upon a large-scale trafficking operation. Hiding in the shadows, Thomas and Derek observed as a well-dressed man, likely in his mid-60s, oversaw the operation. Unlike the workers, who were clad in dirty overalls, this man exuded authority. He directed the workers to load packages containing what appeared to be cash and drugs. The turning point came when the man gestured for a worker to inspect one of the packages. Using a knife, the worker sliced into a bundle, revealing a fine white powder. Thomas and Derek immediately recognized it as a potent illegal drug. The realization hit them hard. The submarine was being used to transport contraband, and the oil rig was the central hub of a massive criminal network. The Coast Guards knew they had to act fast. Checking his walkie-talkie, Thomas discovered that they finally had a signal. Keeping their voices low, the two relayed their location and the situation to their crew. The team was shocked by the revelation but promised to send reinforcements immediately. Meanwhile, Thomas and Derek knew they couldn't let the submarine leave with its illicit cargo. They sneaked toward the control room of the oil rig, hoping to find a way to immobilize the vessel. After several tense minutes of navigating the platform undetected, they reached the control room, only to find the door locked. Before they could formulate another plan, the well-dressed man spotted them. Realizing they had been discovered, Thomas and Derek sprinted to another part of the platform. The man barked orders to his workers, who began searching for the intruders. Using their knowledge of the rig's layout, the Coast Guards managed to evade capture and double back to the control room. This time they successfully broke in and disabled the submarine systems, ensuring it couldn't leave the platform. As the criminals attempted to regain control, the sound of helicopters filled the air. Reinforcements had arrived. A team of Coast Guard officers and police swarmed the platform, arresting the workers and their leader. The well-dressed man's calm demeanor evaporated as he realized there was no escape. Thomas and Derek were hailed as heroes for their bravery and quick thinking. Their actions not only prevented the submarine from completing its mission, but also led to the dismantling of a major trafficking ring. The operation was one of the biggest busts in the Coast Guard's history, and the story of the mysterious blue submarine became a legend among law enforcement. Despite the victory, questions lingered. Who had designed the stealth submarine? And how many others like it were in operation? What was the full extent of the trafficking network? While the arrests marked a significant blow to the criminals, it was clear that the fight against such sophisticated operations was far from over. The discovery of the mysterious blue boat was a chilling reminder of the lengths to which criminals will go to evade detection. Yet it also showcased the courage and resourcefulness of those tasked with upholding the law. Thomas and Derek's harrowing experience serves as a testament to the bravery required to face the unknown and emerge victorious. This extraordinary tale will be remembered not just for its intrigue, but for the heroes who turned the tide against a dangerous criminal enterprise.